Let's see. Sorry about that. Are we good? Hey. We all here? Hold up. We're back. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Yeah, my computer went topsy-turvy. My bad. Let's give it a second. You did that, Shadow? Okay. All right, Bobby. YouTube was hating on the epic rant. You said was the last thing you said was Asians women wear sandals. Okay, that's a good stopping point. Yeah, that's a good All right. For some odd reason my computer went fucking reset mode. I'm sorry about that. I'll have to fix that later. But I'm back. We're good. maybe it was my talk about feet. Maybe.
Serve as judge, jury, and executioner, and the design tells you kind of exactly who she is at the first glance. With her horned helm and more of a grounded silhouette, she's designed to feel like someone who shows up to pass a sentence on you. You see her, you understand the design.
Since this is a work in progress, let's talk really quickly here. There needs to be, I'm okay with the pauldron on the side, but there needs to be some type of, well, let's go back a bit, because there was a close-up to it. I think it was right here. Yeah. Let's talk about it. There needs to be some belt action going on here with the not with the pauldron, but with the mithril and some straps, and get this though, put some strappings that are tied to the helmet and strap that shit between the titties, between the cleavage, and have some straps here, and then also have some strappings with the mithril to have it strapped with like a leather piece right over the chest, not on the chest, but right over the chest, to have some strappings that actually show on the body, and let that be its thing. Also, it looks like we're going for a Dark Knight build. You know what it comes, what we should add, right? A little bit more spikes. Just a little bit more spike action, maybe on the elbow armor right over there, or maybe on the gauntlet. Possibility, but that's my thought. I love the helmet. I do. Add some chains on the helmet, maybe. Who knows?
Lined in leather and steel and has completely unwavering faith. The lore actually calls them battle maidens who serve as judge, jury, and executioner, and the design tells you kind of exactly who she is at the—
My chat just said, and make her have German accent with a whip. You're not even talking about the game.
first glance. With her horned helm and more of a grounded silhouette, she is designed to feel like someone who shows up to pass a sentence on you. You see her, you understand the design, and you instantly know what role she plays in this world, which is exactly what good character design is supposed to do. Without a single line of dialogue, you already know everything you need to know, and you still want—
Also, if you add a strap, maybe a spiked strap around her thigh, and get this, devs, I want you to be in on this. If the developers could add a strap around the thigh right around here, and add a strap right there, but also make sure you have a little bit of that thigh meat that gets pushed from the little strap. That is very important. A lot of Asian developers will be like, Oh, so then,
Want to know more. And what I really love about her is that she is just one of those characters that is deeply beautiful, but also terrifying at the same time. And she kind of shows how those things can enhance each other. A simpler woman like myself might describe this phenomenon as scary horny, and it is a real and valid design philosophy. Next up, Calanthea. She is an all-divine vampire among the cruelest of her kind, and she is both the sister and the lover of Lord Cadogan.
Sister and lover? Wait. Okay, she's a sister and lover? Okay, all right. I mean, this is the world that's in the game. But this is the start. Okay. All right, devs, are you here? CI Games? All right. We need to talk. She's a vampire, correct? You said a vampire? Okay. Add some blood right here on her mouth. No, let me show you. Let me show you what? Let me show you. Let me show you. Let me show you. There's a reason why I want you to add blood on the chin and on the lips, and maybe a little bit on the titties. Trust me. Stay with me, devs. We got some keys. We got some, stay with me, devs. Stay with me. Hold up. I got it right here. Boom. You remember these ladies? You remember the ding ding ding? You remember these ladies? Yeah. See, Lady Dimitrescu's daughters are still cosplayed to this day. All right, pay attention. Ding 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 ding. They're still cosplayed today, and this is what you want. Here, you also need to add. Stay with me. You need to add glowing eyes to this vampire lady, and also you need to make her hair float. Make her hair float. Make her have glowing red eyes if she's a vampire, and do that sort of thing with glowing red eyes. Let there be like some sort of like visual effect with the eyes. Let her hair be longer and actually have some locks and some sort of like noble design with the hair. Stay with me. And also make the hair a little bit more translucent almost, and almost with like a cosmic sort of cosmic blood, sort of translucent floating hair in the back, to give it to be like, okay, this is somebody that's a big deal and not just some regular person. And like I said, with the blood on the chin and on the titties and shit, stay with me. You need to also add this part right here in the middle, not the whole chest, but in the middle section right here. Get rid of that. You need to have the belly button and all that like stomach meat right there completely visible, but give it that sort of like nylon sort of stockings, sort of like flowery design right on top of that. Instead of covering up the chest, you need to have an open spot right there to have like like some sort of fishnet design that shows the belly button and her like sort of, her chest right there. It's like, we're not done yet. We got more. Okay. High heels. We're doing a vampire. Now you have to do high heels. It is imperative that you do the high heels for this lady. And also with the staff, this staff needs to be something fucking special. This staff is one of those Elden Ring moments where you're just like, oh shit, you're gonna fight this person and she's important and you want that weapon. That weapon better be important. It needs a certain design. This weapon needs to have some sort of lore design to it, instead of it just being a staff. You need some sort of design with it. I don't know what it could be. I don't know the lore to this lady. I'm just going to leave it at that. But I'm definitely going to say this is a vampire we're talking about. She needs to be what is vampire more tied to? Evil, seductive, and desire. You need to bring out the desire. You need to bring out the vampiric desire with this character. And if there's more, let's continue. I got a lot to say.
Yes.
I disagree. Shadowheart never had high heels. Oh, you're talking about something else.
You did hear that correctly. When I was reading the lore notes, I actually had to go back and reread that section to make sure that was correct. It was.
Okay, so she's a sister of some guy, and then she also married her own sibling. Okay, so she debauchery.
Gothic opera indeed. She also runs something called a theater of torture, where humans are her performers and their debut act is usually their last.
Theater of torture. You need to redesign this whole fucking thing. You need to redesign this whole fucking thing. We're talking about theater here. You said theater torture. She needs to have. You need to have vampirism, sex, desire, and theater all on this set character, all over her. Also, if that's the sort of debauchery we're talking about, you need to have, she has to be sexy, obviously, but also you need to make sure that she always has a smile. Like always has a smile that's very creepy, but not too creepy to be like, ew, she's kind of weird, but creepy enough where men are going to be like, oh no, I hope she doesn't catch me. You see what I mean? You see what you smoking, you smoking what I'm, seeing, but that's what I'm trying to say. That's what you need to bring in.
Which I really love that bit of lore. Whoever wrote that, bonus this quarter for you, I hope. Okay, Orioleth, probably my favorite.
All right, continue.
Character that we worked on, lore-wise, she is the captain of the Seraphs.
You need to have her feet exposed. Why? Because Miyazaki would have done it. There, I said it. Everybody was thinking of it. Miyazaki is just like female, have her feet exposed. I feel like Miyazaki's been hanging around fucking Quentin Tarantino too much, and I'm like, you know what? Fine, whatever.
A highest order of Orius' faithful.
Body proportions looks a bit iffy. I don't see that. I think the proportions with the bodies are just wait. Maybe the arms. But only because the arm behind should be adjusted a little bit longer.
Who is the god of light, a radiant warrior who is anointed to enact his divine will. Her armor is described as something that heralds the arrival of divine reckoning from afar. Almost kind of like the Silver Surfer, I guess, but make it golden. Divine will. Her armor is described as something that heralds the arrival of divine reckoning from afar. Almost kind of like
divine reckoning from afar, then she should be using an arrow or a spear. Or something like, she should be using a spear if she's doing divine reckoning from afar, or something like that. If anything, she should be like a dragoon female, like divine sort of soldier Valkyrie, like a Valkyrie sort of dragoon sort of. I'm just giving ideas. I don't know.
The Silver Surfer, I guess, but make it gold and holy. Speaking of which, her design is gold on gold on gold on gold armor that is meant to be seen from very far away, and she is built to inspire and intimidate at the same time.
I know what you need to add. You need to add glitter. You need to add glitter to where the stomach is right here. You need to add glitter right there, and a little bit of and make it more translucent and let it fade away up to like the cleavage area to where the glitter is. Okay, I need to stop touching myself, but yeah,
which I feel like can be such a hard balance to pull off sometimes, but they absolutely nailed it. She looks gorgeous. Okay, yeah, this was the character we ended up spending a really good chunk of time on in the meeting, and I had a lot of thoughts on her hip armor and her shoulder armor, and I asked if we could lean a little harder into just slimming out her figure and putting more focus on her décolleté so that all of the beautiful armor work could really breathe on its own. And again, it was just so fun to see the team.
I see what you're saying about the wait, slimmer? Wait. Are you saying around here, maybe? I don't... Slim down.
Just adjust these things in real time while we were on this call. I even asked if they could give her a necklace, and they drew it on while I was watching. And to quickly touch on that, I am not a designer. I am not a 3D artist. I am just a girl on the internet who likes pretty characters.
Okay, you're right about adding something there. However, they need to add... Listen. Developers, you need to add something that, like, these are women that have a duty to their god or their deity. So you need to add that to the armor. What is a good design for duty or judgment? Chains. You need to add small chains that are hooked up to the pauldrons and have them be attached to the pauldrons and to the arms, and not the big chains. I'm talking about those very nice clean chains, and have it be adjusted on the armor, on the tits a little bit, you know, and you know, you're right about the necklace, bro. My brain is on overload. I could talk about this all day. Let's keep going. The scales over here, the scale, see what you did to me? The scales over here, these black or gray scales, you need to change these scales into something. The scales need to be formulaic, or not formulaic, but the scales need to be formed to her armor, to her arm, to where the scales are like, okay, so this is where how your arm is formed, so we're just gonna make the scales look like it's part of your skin, instead of having it, you know, peek out and, you know, be just normal scales. And also change the scales into like a sort of white scales instead of gray or black scales. It needs to be white. You need to make this person look like she's giving divine judgment, also look like she has like a sense of duty. I dig the tits, by the way, thank you. You need to give her this sort of like I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I'm not really into this, but other people are. You need to give her step on me mommy vibes is what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
But the fact that they were so genuinely excited about my feedback, that's kind of the whole point. Because listening to your audience doesn't mean just blindly doing whatever some random voice tells you to do. The best devs take feedback, sit with it, and figure out how to bring it to life in a way that is actually serving what they are trying to do. And of course, anyone can just nod along with you, but the studios that take in feedback, weigh it against their own creative vision, and are capable of implementing it very thoughtfully, those are the ones who are able to stand the test of time. And that was honestly the takeaway that I had with this meeting. They weren't just saying yes to things to make me feel good. You could tell that they were genuinely thinking about whether or not each suggestion actually served the character and the
Make her butt look big. No, background NPC. Her butt is already too big. Give us a different idea.
Absolute best way. To get us back on track though, this is the Radiant Priestess. Okay. And if you think that her armor looks similar to Oriolith.
Okay, alright. Okay. Yo, these devs are... Okay, alright. Okay, we're going for more of a Greek look here, it looks like. But give me the rundown of her background.
is the Radiant Priestess, and if you think that her armor looks similar to Aurelith, you are correct. She belongs to the same divine order as her, same gold armor, which again, I am in love with, same heavenly aesthetic and overall vibe. But where Aurelith is more of a warrior, the priestess is kind of like the conduit. She is a vessel of Aureus, again, who is the god of light, sustaining her allies with holy magic. Is a
okay. All right, I got it. Okay. All right, here we go. The back of the mask where these wings are, get rid of the golden wings and give them real feather wings for the mask. Instead of the metal wings right here, give her actual feather wings in the back over here. Also, the design of her hair, I love the long hair. Give her a long ponytail with like really like intricate sort of priestess, sort of empress, sort of golden accessories to the hair. Give me something else. Replace those golden feathers with actual golden feathers. You see what I'm saying? Or white feathers. Either or is fine. Up the titty meat. Always up the titty meat. I'll always fucking say that. Let's see. BBL, of course. Always BBL. Let's see. You need the golden glitter again. And also this spear is so just there. I cannot stress this enough. Weapons, when you have important characters, they need to have important weapons. That spear, it's a spear. You made a spear all right. If this person is tied to holy divine energy, have her have golden balls, or maybe around the spear or around the staff have like golden feathers that kind of are translucent that fly around the staff. That's right, glowy weapons. And guess what? People love glowy weapons. Give the spear some wings, my dude. Give me some wings. We're talking about some wing stuffs here. Come on now. The white drape is great, but you need to give the white drape a sort of, you need to have the white you need to highlight the drapes with white and gold, so it's white on the top but it gets golden at the bottom. That's what I'm trying to say. Also, it looks like this bitch could fly. Give her some fucking Hermes shoes up in this bitch. Give her some fucking feathers on that fucking shit. It's like, what's this pagan god gonna do anyway? Huh? What's that pagan god gonna do anyway? What is it gonna do? It's like, is it? I don't know which god it was. Well, I think it was Hermes. But what is it? What are they gonna say? Oh, you can't do that. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Put some wings on those sandals. Do it. I dare you. Also, glitter this bitch. Put some light glitter on that stomach. Trust me, bro. Trust me on this. Just that's all I'm saying, bro. Just trust me. Also, another thing. Where the rings at, bro? Where the rings at? You can give this bitch some rings. Give her some rings. Give this bitch some rings. Give it all them rings, nigga, rings.
With same heavenly aesthetic and overall vibe. But where Aurelith is more of a warrior, the priestess is kind of like the conduit. She is a vessel of Aureus, again, who is the god of light, sustaining her allies with holy magic.
No. I'm asking for too much now. Give her some thigh highs that go up to here, and it's see-through, bro. Like it's white thigh highs that look like they were in the rain, and so you could see the fucking knees and shit. Let it be translucent so you could see right through, and then boom, bro, and still let the toes be available. We still want the toes to be available, so let the thigh highs be up here, and then down here let it be like a strap around the, you know, around the base of your foot, and then just leave it there. Let the toes be free and the back of the foot be free, and that have those thigh highs go. Bro, we're gooning. Okay, let's go.
And demolishing her enemies with sanctified steel. Usually deployed under a seraph like Orioleth, the lore describes her purification process as immolation beneath holy light, which is just an extremely cool way to say, I will set you on fire in the name of God. I love how they made her a bit...
You know what you should have also done? You also should have given her a large ring on her... like a large, like, sort of sun ring on her back or something like that when she does pop... Bro. Okay, let me just keep going. I got so many ideas. Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
I will set you on fire in the name of God.
I got too many ideas.
I love how they made her a bit softer too, and it fits the more spiritual aesthetic that they were going for. Yeah, the flowing white fabric, the slender spear instead of a sword. At a glance, you can kind of tell she's more support oriented, which again, I love storytelling through character design. And last but certainly not least, we have the Trelesi Huntress. She was once a pre-runation ranger devoted to protecting the blood bloom of Throngar. That's a lot of words.
Oh, the Rongar? Bro.
Which is a blood-nourished flower that the Trelesi cult worships, but this character's softly spoken prayers soon turn into blood-soaked rituals, and it is a classic tragic corruption arc. And what is so cool is you can start to see it in her design. It is the furthest departure from the more armored characters that we just looked at, signaling that she is a much more ancient, much more earthy, organic, and looked at. You can start rituals, and this character's soft...
All right, let's talk. Okay. I'm gonna say it. Give this bitch short fucking, like, short hair, but that, like, sort of cyberpunk sort of short hair, kind of like Mirror's Edge, kind of like sort of short hair, where it's got that tomboyish short hair, not pixie short hair. Give her the short hair of a tomboy that's kind of like Mirror's Edge, but a little bit longer and stuff like that. Like kind of like the hair from the woman from Cyberpunk Edge Runners a little bit. Give her that. Also, oh man, bro, up the chains, bro. If she's gonna be about corruption and shit, bro, we got some ideas, bro. We're going into BDSM territory, bro. If she gets corrupted and she's got fangs shit and she's got spikes on her bodies and shit and she's just running at you with, like, she's got nails now. It's like, bro, well, she's got a bow too, so she's more ranged. Bro, man. All of this is great. Also, finally, we got some titty meat. Notice how I've never said, bro, get rid of the titty meat. I've always advocated for titty meat. Do not come to us when this game is over and you hid all the titty meat. If we come back and you hid all the titty meat, we're having talks. Do not tell me we're coming back when the game comes out and you hid most of the titty meat and it's just regular armor. I'm gonna get mad, bro. I'm gonna get mad. Did you I'm gonna talk to a background NPC on Twitter and be like, did you tell them to do this? And she's gonna be like, no, I didn't.
Which is a blood-nourished flower.
The armor needs some love, definitely, but it's not it's a rough draft, basically, guys.
That the Trelesi cult worships, but this character's softly spoken prayers soon turn into blood-soaked rituals, and it is a classic tragic corruption arc. And what is so cool is you can start to see it in her design. It is the furthest departure from the more armored characters that we just looked at, signaling that she is a much more ancient, much more earthy, organic, and feral character, and there is a wildness to her that the others just don't have. This one I really got into during the meeting. We talked about her helmet, we tweaked her footwear, and at one point I even suggested maybe we talked to her that the—
You tweaked the footwear? What did you do? What did you do? Did you hide the grippers? Bro, I'm tweaking. Bro, I'm tweaking. What do you mean? What do you mean?
Others just don't have. This one I really got into during the meeting. We talked about her helmet, we tweaked her footwear, and at one
What do you mean you tweaked her footwear? I want her to be barefoot.
point I even suggested maybe changing up the cloth armor on her legs and adding a chain detail around her foot to help kind of tie it in a bit more with the rest of her armor.
Okay, all right, she's still in, chat, she's still in.
They agreed and added those changes in. Again, just a reminder, I am really not an artist by trade, so getting to watch something like—
I'm really not an artist. We noticed you were trying to take away the grippers. We noticed you're not into art, trying to take away the grippers from us. I'm just kidding.
Like that actually happened in front of my eyes in real time, and knowing that it has ended up in the final design is genuinely one of the coolest gaming experiences that I've ever had. But that brings us to the end of these characters. 5 completely different designs, 5 completely different roles, all getting the same level of care and intention poured into each and every one of them. And remember, these are the kinds of characters the Lords of the Fallen community specifically asked for. Beautiful, aspirational, visually striking, iconic. CI Games asked the question, the audience answered, and this is what showed up on the other—
Woodpit said, let her model this for us. She's not gonna do that, chat. She's not gonna do it. She is a lover of all things jackets. Okay, she's a lover of all things sweaters. It's never gonna happen.
Side of that conversation, which I think is so cool, and honestly should be way more common than it is. Imagine if
there's many other cosplayers out there
asked us our thoughts about things sometimes, instead of just always assuming and telling us what we should want. And like I have said before, while I love beautiful characters, there has to be substance for a game to be great. And from my conversations with them and looking at their track record, CI Games is not a studio that is only focused on making pretty characters. The 70+ updates, the polls that they've run, the dev diaries that they've put out,
She's 100% correct. Like, and that's what, like I told you before, where it was like, of course these developers care about not only gameplay, but also optimization. And for you to just come out of nowhere and fucking lambaste CI Games for what they said, for what they have done, they did. Not what they said, that's what they did. They made the game better. They didn't quit. They didn't move on to another game. That's exactly what they did. So when they talked about having attractive characters and you come out like, is the game gonna be good? Are you even available? No, you're not available. Especially fighting Cowboy. He wasn't available because he's too busy making advertisements for Capcom. Okay? He's too busy being a fucking shill for another game.
19 million in investing, the whole Umbral rework, that is the same studio making these beautiful characters. These designs did not just appear randomly. The same mindset that produced them is the exact same mindset behind every other good decision that this studio has made for the past 2.5 years. That mindset being respect your audience, sweat every detail, and overall just make a great game you actually want to play. The characters and the gameplay are not two separate wins. They are the same win that is happening twice. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for being here, and a huge thank you again to CI Games for partnering with me on this and for trusting me with the reveal of some of your fabulous ladies. I am still kind of in disbelief that I got to be a part of it, and I am also incredibly grateful to all of you for being so supportive for my content and for giving me the opportunity to even do something like this in the first place. Thank you so much. I am so thankful for you. Now, Lords of the Fallen 2 is still in development and it is slated for a release later this year. While we don't know exactly how that launch is going to go just yet, what I will say is this: Based on everything CI Games has shown us over the last 2.5 years, I am genuinely excited and I cannot wait to see more of this game. Let me know in the comments which of the 5 designs is your favorite. Thanks again for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, it was a good video. Shout out to Background NPC. She did a good job. Especially with the dev team. If they're trying to bring heavy metal to their game, and they did bring heavy metal to their game, you have to, what's the word I'm looking for? Your prime focus is heavy metal. Well, what do you see at a heavy metal concert? You see a whole bunch of men with tattoos doing a fucking like wearing their favorite shirt from their favorite band, fucking headbanging and shit. I mean, everybody's sweating, fucking like headbanging and shit. And also that random baddie that random goth bitch that's over in a corner or up in the front of the band, and you're just like, God damn, that's what you need. That's what you need. Okay, everybody's out here headbanging, and you got the fucking goth chick baddies with the big titties right there. You need the whole. You want death metal? You want metal fucking Souls like? That's it right there. Okay, I've been to these things. I've even partaken in a couple of the dark arts. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, chat? I partaken in the dark arts of the goth ladies. So yeah, that's what you want, because that will bring the goth baddies have already played Lords of the Fallen 1. You need to bring in more of the goth baddies by bringing in Lords of the Fallen 2. But anyway, this is a great video. It's a long video. Okay, that was a long one. Yeah, sorry that I split that up. I didn't realize that. Man, I had no idea she just had pictures like that. That's crazy. Like, she just had those pictures. Yeah, I didn't see that one. I did not see that one. Hold up. My bad. Yawning. Okay. All right. Hey everybody, this is Mr. Hardcore Mode, where nothing is easy. Warriors and witches, how y'all doing? And God bless. We are here to talk about Athlon from Dotenod. Yeah, we have a lot to talk about the game that I never even cared about, or none of us even cared about. Nobody even knew about this game. So when we talk about this game, you're gonna be like, oh, isn't that one game where you play as female Obama? Well, you're about to see. Nobody even knew this game was around. There was no PR around it. This game was woke for woke's sake. That's all. That's it.
A sci-fi action-adventure called Aphelion launched on Steam, PS5, Xbox, and Game Pass. You play primarily as a bald, androgynous black female astronaut stranded on a frozen alien planet.
Yeah.
The strong, capable hero of the story,
Yeah.
while her emotionally and physically feeble white male counterpart spends most of the game injured, oxygen-dependent, and clinging to the relationship she ended to focus on the mission. She, meanwhile, spends her time recording emotional voice diaries about their relationship, while navigating a climate guilt narrative.
Wait, so wait, you mean to tell me that you want to focus on the mission and be a stoic bad bitch, but throughout the game, you're focused on relationships? Oh, okay. These are the same people that made Tell Me Why, a game about a trans person.
About humanity not deserving to survive. And on launch day, surprise, surprise,
Why the fuck did this rugged white guy have sex with female Obama? The world will never... Was there nobody else in space? Bro, when there's nobody else in space and all you see is female Obama, everybody looks like a 10.
It peaked at about 200 concurrent players.
Ah, I told you, nobody wants to, bro. Huh? Our freedom is at stake here. America has been worse than ever before, but we have a way to making it back. I'm gonna suck this white boy's dick. So, when I suck this white man's dick, you and all the people, the American people, will rise up and we will have our country back.
Roughly 3,000 copies sold, mixed reviews from barely over 100 ratings, and the studio behind this game is staring down the barrel of complete financial extinction. To understand how catastrophic that is, you have to understand how far this studio has fallen.
Yep.
Don't Nod Entertainment is the French developer behind Life is...
This is exactly how I would picture, bro. Well, this guy's got a fucking Satan tattoo, so that's probably that's probably a thing. These are the same people that did Lost Records. What is that game exactly? See, this is what I'm talking about. Look at this low testosterone fucking. This is bro. Hold on. I don't care about that. You know what? I'll just talk about it. Yep, I'll just talk about it. Basically what I'm trying to pull up was the CI Games devs, which was Lords of the Fallen 2. Well, you get Chris Redfield, a couple of metalheads, and Captain Jack Sparrow. Or you could have this. Yeah, okay, there's a reason why I pick a certain people in my team. So if you're going like, well, maybe the person that you bring in, even though she doesn't look right to you, maybe she does a good job. Nope. There's just, what do you kids like to call it? The vibes? That's right. When I hire somebody, I need those vibes checked, okay? So when you come in looking like fucking Billy the Foo-Foo over here, I'm gonna be like, yeah, no, get out. But I got I got a good resume. Nah, get the fuck out of here.
Strange, a franchise that reached over 20 million players and pushed their stock to an all-time high of just over 33 euros on the Euronext Paris. Life is Strange put Don't Nod on the map, gave them a publicly traded valuation, gave them the kind of position mid-tier developers spend entire careers trying to reach.
Yep.
And since that peak in 2018, not a single thing they've released has justified the confidence the market placed in them.
Exactly.
Jusant flopped. Banishers flopped.
Yep.
Harmony flopped.
All of it.
Lost Records flopped.
Yep.
Too niche, too preachy.
Why did you make a game about 4 lesbians? Why the fuck did you do that? That is so fucking weird. Yo, I'm gonna make 4 little girls and they're gonna kiss each other. And I'm over here like, nigga, never talk to me about the Epstein files ever again. You hear me? Never shout about Charlie Kirk, okay? Never shout about how bad America is, okay? You're the one that made a game about 4 children, and that part is fine. And the 4 children are being friends, that's fine. And now the 4 children are just trying to figure out their sexuality. Yeah. Sodomy. Thanks, but no thanks.
Too ideological. Gameplay too mediocre to compensate. Marketing too weak to compete. Fail after fail after fail.
Damn. You hate black people this much, you make her look like this? All right.
And the CEO's own statements tell you everything about how this studio processes failure.
Oh God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, chat. That was my bad. That was my bad. I hit something else. My bad. I'm so sorry. That was so bad. My bad. Hold on. Here it is. That's what I meant to hit. That was my bad. My bad. My bad. My bad, chat. I apologize.
After Jusant and Banishers flopped, he told investors the games had excellent critical reception, despite not achieving commercial results.
Oh, so you just
blaming
lied.
An extremely competitive and selective market. When asked what he'd do differently looking back, he said, I'm not sure I'd change a lot of things.
Even your fans back then wanted the old school way of Life is Strange is. Life is Strange 2 was probably my favorite one, but Life is Strange 1, like 2, 3, they were fine, they were good, but you had something there. Like Before the Storm or something like that, you had something there, but then you were steering, there was actually less politics involved with Life is Strange back then. But now you went full politics after this one. If anything, you had the whole trans thing with Tell Me Why. That was politically motivated, and then you had the whole Lost Records thing with kids kissing and sodomy, and I'm like, what are you fucking doing? I mean, even when you had a little bit of integrity. Because, like, when when Max Caulfield and Chloe were kids, they were just kids, and they were friends. Good. But when they were in college, that's when you can develop a relationship. You separated those. You made sense with those. But in this one, now you're just like, ooh, what are the kids doing? What are they doing in the woods? Yeah, it's weird.
The game's reviewed well on Metacritic, and that was enough for him.
Oh, good review for Metacritic. Bro, Metacritic is a fucking poison, and it should be hunted down. It's so poison. It's so much poison.
And that's the disease right there. Because the gaming press and
Hey, Craig.
studios
How you
like
doing?
Don't Nod exist in a mutual admiration loop so hermetically sealed from commercial reality that they might as well be on a different planet. The same journalists who share their politics review their games.
Yep.
The same conferences where they congratulate each other's ambition become the evidence that the ambition was justified. They make a game for each other, review it for each other.
Wait. What did that say? Emerald Apple said, only time will tell how Crimson Desert will really do, but no one trusts mainstream journalists anymore except the out-of-touch Asian investors who haven't figured out what Western journalists lie. IGN rated Concord and Highguard a 7, and they both went out of service. And then IGN and Concord, quote, IGN rated Concord and Highguard a 7, and they both went out of service due to being a massive flop. IGN also gives Dragon Age the Veilguard a 9, and it was a commercial failure. What are we doing here? Is the review of a Michael Bay movie that gives it a a 3 wrong because it makes a fortune. I see what's going on here. But let me let him finish all the way. Is the review of a Michael Bay movie that gives it a 3 wrong because it makes it a fortune? Is a review of an Oscar bait movie that gives it a 10 wrong because it doesn't? A job of a media review is not to tell you what will sell, but how a reviewer evaluates its quality. That's it. That's all. Well, that's the thing here, Richard. They don't know what quality is. That's the thing. They are reaching to your team, for only the fact that you're in the same political alignment with them. They have no sense of merit-based system here. Their only thing is, you got gay and trans person, we're in. And the fact that I have to keep on repeating this kind of feels like I'm lying, but I'm not. Their whole thing is centered around your political views. That's why they gave Dragon Age the Veilguard a 9 out of 10, because you put trans people in it. That's why Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 got a high score, because you can fuck a man and you see a black person. That's why they got these high scores. Concord and Highguard, nobody wanted to play that. That is the center. By the way, none of these points, none of these 3, 10, 9, 10, none of these matter, because journalists have no sense of integrity, regardless of whether or not you're Polygon, IGN, or Eurogamer. None of these people have integrity anymore. They are not good for anything. So they just give you a good score just so you can keep on shitting out the same shit. You guys are happy to see a metric score and not happy to keep your studio. That's your thing now. And I bet you if I asked your other fucking developers and said, hey, how do you feel that your game didn't sell, but you got a high score in Metacritic? They would say, well, I don't know if this is good because nobody's playing my game and I might get laid off. That's your fuck up. Your fuck up is you're choosing to be like, ah, man, but what about the 3s and 10s? These numbers do not matter. They do not matter. They didn't matter for Crimson Desert, and they sure as hell didn't matter for fucking Dragon Age the Veilguard. All that matters is the people that overwhelmingly played the game. That's it. How's Slay the Spire 2 doing? That game that looks like it was made in less than 3 years. It's actually doing pretty well.
Justified. They make a game for each other, review it for each other, applaud it for each other, and then stand around.
That's how The Last of Us got a nice ass score with all those rewards. But for some odd reason, The Last of Us HBO series got canceled. Huh. Kind of like the video game where everybody jumped ship.
Genuinely confused when the people who are supposed to buy it don't show up. A studio can hemorrhage 64 million euros in a year and still point to an 80 on Metacritic as proof the product was fine. Because in their world, the Metacritic score is the product. The audience is just an inconvenience they haven't figured out how to root around yet.
An inconvenience.
And the person they'd eventually hire to write Aphelion.
By the way, I want you guys to remember something, because I don't think I said enough about Lost Records, about Bloom and Rage. I don't think I said enough about this. Let me tell you about these 4 little girls and what happened. 1, sodomy, where they tried to make these kids become gay. 2, screaming. Apparently screaming makes you powerful for some odd reason. Feminist agenda 101 there. And number 3, suicide, and being okay with suicide. That third one really was like, wow, like fucking wow. So the one girl that's on top right here, she had a mental illness. She had a mental breakdown. She like something weird was going on. Well, first of all, it was mostly her, but her having a mental breakdown because of bullying. But the amount of bullying that was happening with her and some guy was like so minuscule that she was being way too like fucking mentally like she was like, oh my god, I'm gonna go crazy. I'm like, okay, got it. But also she's sick. She needs a breathalyzer. So, you know, there's that. And here's the thing though. Here's the thing. This girl goes into the mystic forest where there's a giant hole and there's all this purple shit. All this purple shit coming out of that mystic hole. What was this mystic hole? They never fucking tell you. This girl jumps of her own free will into that hole. And I'm like, what the fuck? What the hell? And then these three right here grow up living with that shit, that their friend like committed suicide. And guess what the main character does? The fat bitch, the one with the red hair, the fat bitch that's sitting right here. You want to know what she does? She hears voices of her friend back at the hole that they used to go to. That hole was still there. They never told anybody. So they go back to that. She goes back to that mystic hole at the very end of the game, and she jumps after hearing her friend like mystically. And I'm like, it's like, come on, the wall. She didn't exactly say this, but it's like, oh my god, I'm free. And I'm like, is she gonna jump? What the fuck? And then it goes into a fucking like credits, and I'm like, what the fuck? It makes you want to go watch The Goonies, where it's literally just kids having an adventure. Yes, the kids had some problems over at home a little bit, but The Goonies was like pure family fun. You watch this, you play this game, and it's not even like, oh my gosh, kids go through some shit. No, it doesn't make you learn anything. If anything, it makes you want to like send these kids to a fucking asylum. Like, oh, these kids need help. These kids are fucking.
Is herself the living embodiment of that pipeline?
I didn't play the game, but I watched the whole amount of cutscenes and the choices, and I was like, I wonder what would happen. And then I watched all of it. I watched 2 hours of all this bullshit, and it's disgusting.
But we'll get to her. Strip away the press validation. Strip away the Metacritic scores. Strip away every cushion. And what you're left...
See what I mean? See what I mean? See? Oh.
Strip away every cushion.
That's the hole. That's the hole right there. I wasn't lying. See what I mean? See what I mean? And this is what's gonna happen, if I remember correctly. This is what I'm gonna happen. This one right here is fucking crazy. She's like, guys, the hole is calling to us. And the other two are just like, whoa, what the fuck? Hey, I got stuff to do. And then the purple shit fades away, and they're just, and something else happens, if I remember correctly, because they're holding hands, and I'm like, are you guys gonna jump?
And what you're left with is a company that ran out of excuses. The market was wrong, the audience was wrong, the industry was too competitive, the timing was bad. Every explanation except the one staring them in the face. A studio so intoxicated by its own sense.
Anything that has this pink and blue shit, mark all these people off of your fucking calendar. All this bald and weak beard and fucking looking like you're a writer, but you're not actually a writer, you're just a fucking cuck. Write all these people off. I don't even know why they're wearing black. They should be wearing rainbows. They're all just fucking losers. Feminist fucking losers.
Of cultural superiority that it treated commercial failure as a badge of artistic integrity rather than what it actually is, which is the market telling you in the clearest possible language that nobody wants what you're selling.
Nope.
By 2024, revenue was down 25%. Operating losses hit nearly 45 million euros. Net loss for the year, again, over 64 million. More than 10 times the company.
You mean to tell me that that Metacritic score is not working to your advantage after all?
Company's current market cap. 22 million in cash burned in a single.
You can wear a beard. Just all you listen, guys, you can wear a beard and have a bald head. You just got to look like you worked at a truck, worked on trucks for most of your life. That's it. That's all. Just look like you have some testosterone and look like you've worked with your hands. If you just have a bald head and a beard and you do no physical labor, I'm going to be like, yeah, he's gay.
Year. Workforce slashed from over 340 to about 280. Layoffs so badly handled that the French Game Workers Union organized a strike.
Damn.
90% of the staff voted for it. The union accusing management of crass ineptitude, saying workers are paying the price for management's shortcomings. The people actually.
I thought, but what did I say? What did I say? What did I just say? The game developers that you're working with are going to get pissed if you just go by the Metacritic score. And guess where we're at right now?
Building these games could see the strategy was broken, even if leadership couldn't. The stock cratered from 33 euros to about 40 cents. Nearly 99% of shareholder value evaporated. And in their 2025 annual results, filed just days before Aphelions launch.
Armored Snake says bald head, beard, and doesn't look like he works out. And you don't even have to be muscular. You just have to look like you've dealt with 5 kids and you're just like, I guess I might want to work on that backyard. You got the dad bod, and you got the socks with the sandals on. That looks like you're a man, not what we just saw.
The company's own auditors flagged material uncertainty regarding Don't Nod's ability to continue as a going concern beyond January 2027.
Yep.
Their own auditors are telling investors this company might be dead in 8 months.
Oh, but what about the Metacritic score,
at that
though?
Precise moment, with the walls closing in and every remaining decision carrying the weight of survival, Don't Nod chose as lead writer for their do or die release.
I worked as a lead writer on this project as part of a big narrative team. I learned a lot. Learned a lot on what? It looks like you're sitting on your ass and going everyone on launch. Yeah, nobody gives a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck about what you did. All you did was nothing. Thanks a lot.
Journalist named Lee Alexander.
Story Games Pro. I'm not touching that. Bad futurism. Oh god. Machine Ghosts. Everything is narrative. Oh my god. Devoted homo. Oh my god. Oh my god. Blue Sky. Yeah, you should be unemployed. You should be unemployed.
Who in 2014 published an article on Gamasutra titled "Gamers Are Over." She calls
gamers don't have to be your audience. Man, I wonder how the game developers within Don't Nod feel about what she just said. I wonder.
Game culture, not even culture, just buying things, spackling over memes and in-jokes repeatedly, and getting mad on the internet.
Yep.
She describes gamers as
hoes mad.
Young men queuing with plush mushroom hats and backpacks.
It's young men queuing with plush mushroom hats and backpacks and jutting promo poster rolls. What do you say? What are you saying? I often say I'm a video game culture writer. Oh my god. But lately I don't know exactly what that means. You don't know anything. Okay? All right. You don't know anything. Game culture as we know it is kind of embarrassing. You don't know anything about video games. Stop pretending you do. Go play fucking Animal Crossing. It's not even culture. It's buying things, spackling over memes, and in jokes repeatedly, and it's getting mad on the internet. You're getting mad on the internet. You're the one predominantly on the internet. Listen, we do get on the internet, but we do play video games. You do know that, right? You do know that we can multitask, right? Are you aware of this? You do know this, right? It's young men queuing with plush mushroom hats and backpacks and jutting promo poster rolls, queuing passionately for hours at events around the world to see the things that marketers want them to see. You mean to tell me that these people, these gamers, these young men are flocking to a different game other than yours, the female Obama simulator game? You do realize what you're saying, right? They would rather play some live service slop than play your Obama female simulator game. You said that. You said that. To find out whether they should buy things or not. They don't know how to dress or behave. Oh my god, this is an online mom. Television cameras pan across these listless queues and often catch the expressions of people who don't quite know why they themselves are standing there. Why are you talking like this? You don't talk like this in real life. I could tell you don't talk like this in real life. And why the fuck do you care about what other people are doing? Games culture is a petri dish of people who you don't know game culture. You don't know what game culture is. Stop pretend all this pretend shit. God, there's a large amount of people that pretend, but the people that pretend the most are women. They love fucking pretending. Because of video games, lately I often find myself wondering what I'm even doing here. We're all thinking that. We're all thinking that. We're all thinking that. Oh my god, we are on the same wavelength. That's crazy. Oh my god. You should be deeply questioning your life choices if this is, no, you need to go back to what you just said before, where you need to go back to the part where you question your life choices. You need to go back to that's actually in relations to you. Okay, you're projecting.
Who don't know how to dress or behave. She calls the commercial foundation of gaming nothing more than marketers whispering in the ears of lonely basement kids that they were the most important consumer demographic of all time. Lonely basement kids, her words. That's what she calls the audience that built a nearly $200 billion global industry. She says, gamers don't own anything anymore and need to learn to share. She calls...
No, we ain't sharing shit, you fucking bitch. We ain't sharing a goddamn thing with you. You're the fucking outsider. You need to fucking leave. Get the fuck out of here. You're the fucking weird feminist, fucking queer. You get the fuck out of here. You're in my fucking territory. Who the fuck do you think you're talking to? Who the fuck do you think you're talking to? Why don't you stay at home, read a book, put on some candle lights, and go fuck yourself?
Traditional gaming a carapace, sloughing off like the skin of a bug. And then the crescendo.
She wrote something about a female Obama character who's all about her feelings, but she's all about her job, and your only writing thing was, bro, what if this black fucking ugly bitch went from A to B in a snowy area, and while she was walking around, she's like, I think I like that white man, but I don't think I like that white man. I should focus on my mission, but I should focus on that white dick, but I should focus on my mission. Should I have Pepsi? Or should I have orange juice? Should I have Pepsi or orange juice? Which one? Should I suck a man's white dick or should I focus on the mission? I don't know. And then by the time that she reaches the white man and saves his life, she's gonna go, I need to focus on my mission now. Okay? Back up. Back the fuck up. Cause she can't be vulnerable. You know that, right? She can't be vulnerable like I missed you. I'm 110% sure she'd be like, oh, I missed you, so back to the mission. That would be her. She's like, oh, I missed you. Let's get back to work. Let's get back to work. All right, we need to focus. We need to focus, okay?
These obtuse shit-slingers, these wailing hyper-consumers, these childish internet arguers, they are...
She doesn't use these words in real life. She doesn't. She literally opened up a dictionary and she said, well, I can't just call them stupid. So let me see what we got.
Are not my audience. And she caps it with...
They are not my audience? We agree.
With, we're creating culture now. Which is the...
We're creating culture now. Who came? No. I'm serious. How many people played your game? All this fucking talking and shit, why you getting all emotional? How many people played your game? 100 people? Damn. You know what? You had 100 people. You know how close you got with those numbers? You almost reached Concord numbers.
Most revealing line in the entire article. Because it's not criticism, and it's not commentary. It's a journalist openly declaring that the commentator class has seized creative authority over an industry they didn't build, don't fund, and clearly don't understand.
Well, in actuality, I know this is AI talking a little bit with a few adjustments, but honestly, actually, she's just mad. She knows the truth. She knows very well the truth. The truth is, her game is hot dog water. But so she gets online or goes to an article and says, you done? That's what she is, okay? When you're this mad that nobody wants to play your game, and then you come out like that with your emotional intelligence, it shows us exactly who you are. You ain't worth nothing. Get the fuck out of here.
Appointing themselves the architects of a culture that belongs to the people who actually play. A single journalist with a drama school education condescending to hundreds of millions of people whose collective economic power dwarfs the entire film industry, claiming the cultural authority to declare an audience obsolete from the comfort of a desk with no capital at risk, no product to ship, no commercial consequence whatsoever. Condescending from a position she treats as earned authority. Except even that authority collapses under the weight of her own ideology. Because the culture her class claims to be creating, what anyone outside that bubble would simply call wokeism, the framework that says all outcomes are determined by group identity rather than individual merit, damns her own career by its own logic.
Hold on. Let's look at this cutscene real quick.
From a position she treats as earned authority. Except even that authority collapses under the weight of her own ideology. Because the culture her class claims to be creating, what anyone outside that...
What the fuck was this about? You wrote this? Of course you wrote this. when she gets up there on top of the snowy hill, her rough hands reach for the snow and makes a hand pattern. And that hand pattern reminds her of that white dick she should be sucking. And she remembers the hand jobs he gave to Thomas. And so she yells for Thomas, saying, "Hang on there, Thomas. Hang on. I remember the hand job I gave to you, Thomas. I'm on my way, Thomas."
Hubble would simply call wokeism, the framework that says all outcomes are determined by group identity rather than individual merit, damns her own career by its own logic. If that framework is correct, then she didn't earn the press positions,
No,
the
she
writing
didn't.
credits,
Nope.
the conference invitations through
Nope.
personal excellence. She got them by being the right identity.
Yep. And also, she doesn't work at Don't Nod. You know what that means? She's another freelance writer. That's right. She's unemployed.
Circulating through the right pipeline. Every achievement discredited by the very theory she promotes. Looking down on gamers from a professional height, her own ideology says she didn't climb. And who exactly is she looking down on? Because
You know.
the average
You
gamer
already know.
in 2025 is 36 years old with 18 years of playing experience. Over 200
The average age of it. I mean, yeah.
million Americans play regularly. A third of them are in the top income bracket in the country. These are engineers and surgeons and tradespeople and lawyers and teachers and soldiers. People who compete in fields that demand actual competence and actual results every single day. People who use gaming to decompress, to stay sharp, to experience something built on the principles they already live by. Earned outcomes and individual agency. And they're expected to sit down, hand over their money, and be lectured about collective guilt and identity grievance.
Hey, I just got done working on rockets. I just got done working on construction. I just got done fucking, doing my lawyer business or working on my, doing my own thing as a lawyer. You know what I'm gonna do when I get home? I'm gonna pull up a chair, get my weighted blanket, and play female Obama.
By a class of journalists and narrative consultants whose greatest professional risk is a bad take on Blue Sky. She said gamers are over. 12 years later, the studio she wrote for can't keep the lights on.
Nope.
Turns out something is over here, but it isn't gamers.
Bitch looks like my fucking grandma. Okay, alright. I shouldn't say that. Sorry, Grandma. I apologize. Sorry, Grandma.
And the product they built with her pen proves every word of this. 8.5 million euros spent. And you have to wonder...
Wait. You spent 8.5 million euros on this game? Bro. You couldn't... Are we out of touch? You couldn't give that money to fucking, I don't know, Palestine?
How much of that budget went into the ideological messaging, and how much went into making the game actually play well? Because the protagonist we described earlier, the one recording emotional voice diaries to her ex-boyfriend while humanity's last hope burns around her, vulnerability.
Don't forget, she's talking to herself. Don't forget that. She's been talking to herself the whole time. Don't forget, there ain't nobody else in the game. She's been talking to herself.
As ideology, fragility as virtue. Well, that part they nailed. But the gameplay, the part the customer is actually paying for. Steam users describe it as clunky parkour with no satisfying flow. Stealth that's disappointingly straightforward. Climbing so imprecise, stealth that's a bit as...
I'm going back. After finishing the game in under 6 hours, I can't help but feel this is Don't Nod's weakest attempt at breaking out of their narrative-focused game comfort zone. Affiliate is a sci-fi adventure featuring two main characters, one whose gameplay is largely akin to that of Walking Simulator. Nigga, it took you 6 hours to realize that? I don't like leaving a not recommended review. All of you are pussies. All of you are pussies. Who's this one on the ground? You spend 7 hours moving painstakingly slow while not knowing which way to go. The climbing is repetitive. The stealth is... What did you sign up for? Did you look at that trailer? Were you watching the trailer?
Clunky parkour with no satisfying flow. Stealth that's disappointing.
These niggas like saw the trailer and thought they were getting Death Stranding.
Straightforward. Climbing so imprecise, the character flails and falls to her death instead of grabbing ledges. The development money clearly didn't go there. And the question nobody in that boardroom apparently asked is, who exactly is going to spend money on this? In a market where Capcom and From Software and Pearl Abyss are right there on the same...
These niggas said, bro. they said, bro, what if we made a game that's based off of Dalsim's from Street Fighter, his origin? That's right. Let's make a game that's like Dalsim from Street Fighter, his origin story before he becomes a monk. You see Dalsim in Street Fighter, he's like, you know, I used to... Before I joined monkhood, I used to be an astronaut and suck white cock.
Shelf. Because the answer was 200 people. And right on cue, the press to develop a pipeline completed its loop one final time. Polygon calls it a must-play, despite...
Ain't nobody give a fuck about Polygon. This is why I never go to Reddit. The only time that I go to Reddit is to figure out whether or not my Stalker Gamma mod works.
Cataloging everything wrong with it. Lee Alexander reshares that review on Blue Sky. The journalist turned lead writer, amplifying the press validation of her own product. And when the backlash arrived, Don't Nod reportedly began scrubbing negative comments from their Steam forums.
What?
Silencing the very...
What? No way. What? The people that are so inclusive? No way. But that's good feedback. No way.
Feedback their lead writer once championed as necessary when it was aimed at gamers. Gameplay
Somebody in my chat said, is that where he learned to spit fire? Yo got fire. Wow! How do you do that, sir? It's very simple. Come with me to this dark alley and I'll teach you my ways. Oh my god.
atrophies in these studios because gameplay serves the audience, and the audience isn't who they're building for. The institutional energy and the budget flow toward the message instead. The money the customer spent buys them broken traversal and tedious stealth.
Kind of looks like a ripped off Jedi Survivor. Don't do Jedi Survivor like that, man. This is literally This is literally, it's just nothing. It's not even a fucking game. It's just politics. It's not even close.
But the ideological messaging, that part works perfectly, every time. And the activists who drive these creative decisions, the journalist to develop a pipeline that produces the affiliates of this industry, they never bear the cost. The pattern across Western gaming is consistent. The ideological creatives move through studios like passengers through a terminal. They board, they deliver their vision, and when the plane crashes, they walk to the next gate.
Yep, exactly. They're just like, wow, we destroyed our own studio. Time to move to another studio because we were right all along. It's the nasty gamers. Gotcha.
Alexander posted congratulations on Blue Sky and moved on. The developers at Don't Nod, the cinematic artists and QA leads who described their layoffs as a wave that came as a real shock, they don't get to move on.
Nope.
They get severance packages, funded partly.
If even that. I want you all to know that Dragon Age, a lot of people were cut off before they could get their severance, which is illegal.
By French taxpayer subsidies and Game Pass deals that kept a failing studio alive long enough to fail one more time. And maybe the industry is finally learning that the person who told you your audience was dead is the last person you want anywhere near a commercial product. Or maybe another studio will hire the next one tomorrow. Either way, the pattern holds. The ideologue walks.
Why would you put on the fucking screen, find your way through the wreckage? Where the fuck else is that bitch gonna go? Why would you put that on the top of the fucking screen? This linear experience, and you would put on the screen, find your way through the wreckage. Yellow painters, all of them.
Developers get laid off. The shareholders eat the loss. And the cycle continues.
Yep.
Don't Nod played stupid games, and they won exactly the prizes they earned. And normally there's something sobering about watching a studio go under.
Wait a minute. Are you saying females can't drive the giant spaceship? Wow, they're really on the money today.
But not when the people running it spent a decade looking down on the very audience they needed. Not when they hired a writer who called gamers obtuse shitslingers and then asked those same gamers for their money. Not when their own employees called them...
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that part.
Asked those same gamers for their money.
I told you, I totally forgot about that part. How could I forget? Drinking and smoking was also on the menu here. I totally forgot. My bad. Totally fucking forgot. And this is not some, oh man, one of the friends is drinking and smoking. That's so cool. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's all of them are drinking and smoking.
Not when their own employees called them crassly inept, and they still didn't listen. This isn't a studio that fell. This is a studio that jumped.
Yep.
The gaming landscape will be better without them.
Yep.
Every dollar freed
like
up from
that.
studios that treat games as ideology delivery systems.
Thank God
is
that
a
yellow
dollar
paint was
flowing to
there. I didn't know where to
developers
go.
who actually respect the craft and the people who play. Good riddance, I say.
Good riddance.
The
Fuck 'em.
activist class declared gamers over. And now, the market is returning the favor. A business that despises its customers is a business that's already dead.
Why do you keep on popping up your stupid fucking helmet, knowing very well there is fire present with debris?
It just hasn't stopped moving yet. As always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, consider liking, subscribing, and joining the channel membership and the Discord. Also, a quick thank you to Instant Gaming for sponsoring this video. Most of you already know how game key resellers work at this point, so I'll spare the walkthrough. I've personally saved a considerable amount over the years using them.
I don't use that site because it requires getting your ID, and I'm not giving an ID to some random, you know, fucking website. So fuck that shit. Anyway, Delphung, let me go ahead and share this with you guys. Go. Good video, as always. Delphung made a really good video. Man, that's good fucking riddance. And that writer, get a fucking job, but somewhere else. Oh my god. Fuck that. Somewhere else. Somewhere else. All right. Okay. Obtuse shit slingers, tell us how you really feel, devs. Oh, she's not a dev anymore. She's unemployed. So, yeah. She's unemployed. All unemployed. All right. Let's go ahead and do this. All right. Hey everybody, this is Mr. Hardcore Mode, where nothing's easy. Warriors and Witches, how y'all doing? And God bless. We're here to watch another Legendary Drops video pertaining to Steam giving us more transparency before we buy video games. Let's go ahead and hear our boy Legendary Drops. Let's go.
Definitely is not the players. In an effort to make Steam a more transparent ecosystem, they are going to be taking recommended hardware out of the hands of developers and publishers, and instead, well, they're going to show us exactly what games are actually running on, what performance really looks like for these games based on our experience. No more lying, no more hiding, no more gaslighting.
Good.
Everyone will be exposed.
Good.
This is going to be such a massive change. This is going to be such a huge help to players. It is going to instantly impact what games players buy, when players buy these games, and it is going to piss off a lot of these publishers that have been selling us unfinished garbage for years.
Exactly.
So, like most of them. But this entire thing is just another step. It's just another action that Valve has taken to be able to make their platform that much more transparent, which got me thinking, what are they up to? Because with what they're doing now and other things that have happened in the background, years of these guys working on their own hardware and their own games and their own platform, well, I think these guys are building towards something much bigger, something that I do not think a lot of people are ready for. Standardized level of quality in the games industry, setting expectations permanently.
Yep.
No more questions need to be asked. So today, we're going to be talking about that. We're going to talk about Steam's latest changes, how they're going to impact the games industry at a rate that, honestly, I don't think we've ever even seen before, how Valve is trying to standardize quality in the games industry, and how all of this has already happened. But before that, a word from today's sponsor, boot.dev, which I've been back on their website recently, and one of the things that I noticed when I've been checking it out is that it feels a lot more like practicing than actually studying. Like you're actually learning something on the job. You're not just sitting there watching these lessons just stack up passively. No, you're constantly doing something. You're coding.
Does he have a display of Meryl from fucking right down here? Right here. He has a display of Meryl from Expedition 33.
Fixing code. You're always interacting with the platform in some kind of way, which makes you feel like you're actually making some kind of progress. And I think that's a big difference between them and anybody else. They structure this all like an RPG, XP, levels, quests, which sounds like a gimmick, but it's there to give you momentum. You always feel like you're making progress instead of just consuming content. And when you get stuck, which you eventually will, you have Boots, the AI tutor, that's not there just to hand you the answer and move on. It's nudging you in the right direction so that you can actually figure things out on your own, and don't forget it 5 minutes later. They also have added the training grounds, which is basically an area for you to be able to grind challenges until something clicks. Now, all of these lessons are free to read and watch. You can demo all their interactive features too. Paid just unlocks the full hands-on experience, the coding,
Interesting.
AI help, and progress tracking. And the reason why I think this kind of stuff matters is because these are back-end skills that can actually translate into real job-level skills, the kind of things that can land you a role where you're making 6 figures a year, and oftentimes you're working remote. So if you're interested in checking this out, maybe you want to make your own game, go to boot.dev and use code Legendary Drops for 25% off your first entire year on an annual plan. The link, QR, and code are all on screen, and it's in the description and the pinned comment. Thank you to
Interesting. I might look at
boot.dev
that.
for sponsoring today's video. Valve is arguably the most powerful company in PC gaming, hell, in all of gaming, and instead of using that position to be able to push some of the worst habits in the industry, they have become more successful than their competition by largely doing the opposite. Steam is a monopoly by choice. Players choose it, developers choose it, not because they're forced to, not because they don't have any other options, but because it is the best platform. It has the biggest audience, the most useful tools, with the kind of conveniences and consumer protections that we just don't see exist anywhere else. And that's why I think that Steam means a lot more to people than just being a storefront. For a lot of players, it represents one of the last major platforms in gaming that still feels like it's being built by people who still actually love games, not just as products or quarterly revenue, but as a hobby that's worth protecting. The games, the people who make them, and the people who play them. And lately, it feels like Valve doesn't just want to be the better example anymore, they want to set a standard. When we look at what Valve has done over the past couple of years, I think that there is a really clear pattern here. They just keep finding places in the industry where they are benefiting from confusion or vagueness or flat out dishonesty, and then Steam is turning that into a rule. They're making a warning. They're putting in a disclosure, something that is there to protect their customers. Steam seems to always move in a much larger effort to keep Steam healthier, clearer, and a hell of a lot harder to exploit. Steam is basically the one that set the modern standard for refunds in PC gaming. You have 14 days and 2 hours played. I can't tell you guys how many times this has saved me. Maybe the game just didn't launch. Maybe the recommended specs were a fantasy.
I really wish, by the way, this is the only one that's actually kind of satisfying to actually get a refund on. It is the best. Sony doesn't give two shits about your fucking refunds. You ain't getting no fucking refund. They did that once for Cyberpunk, and they were like, fuck. All right, give us back your side. Here's your money back for Cyberpunk. They hated that shit.
The game just runs like shit, or maybe there was just no demo, so I just tried it and realized, yeah, you know what, this just isn't for me. Refunds are always fast, sometimes immediate in most cases, and even if you go past that 2-hour mark, there's been plenty of times that if you give them a legitimate reason, Steam will just at least hear you out. Compare that to console platforms or any other platform outside of maybe GOG, where refunds rarely even happen, and when they do, it feels like you're trying to plead your case to a brick wall. It's not even comparable. And that same mentality shows up all over Steam. Valve bans crypto and NFTs. They require disclosures for generative AI.
They did do that. I totally forgot they banned crypto and NFTs. Shout out to Steam for that one.
Especially if that content is being generated during live gameplay. They have an outright ban on in-game advertising, which I'm going to keep it...
Bro, fucking A, bro. I forgot how much Steam has done. There are some things that I don't agree with when it comes to Steam. I think it should be 3 hours instead of 2 hours when it comes to video games for a return value. But like there's some things that they could work on, like the whole idea that they could just fucking ban you out of the fucking forums to talk about the video game. I think that shit's bullshit. I don't think there should be a ban for those things unless people are calling for the death of somebody else inside the forums. That's bannable. But I mean, if people are talking about fucking games and fucking bullshit, and then let them bullshit.
Straight with you guys, that might actually be the only real barrier that's in place to keep publishers from jamming ads directly into our games. Because, like, come on, we know that they want to. I was watching the Diablo 4 campfire chat for their latest expansion, and in the middle of it, Blizzard kept advertising a Diablo 4 themed Jackson guitar.
This is why I'll never go back to Blizzard, bro. I'll never fucking go back to Blizzard. There's such a fucking waste of time, a waste of money, a waste of energy.
Diablo 4 branded candy, Diablo 4 branded Fanta, and whatever else these guys could fit in. That's outside of the game. This is the version that these guys can get away with right now. They can't do that on their own platform. Because they most likely cannot magically get away with it on Steam. So, well,
so fucking corporate, these guys. Also, lay off the fucking Cheetos. For the love of God.
They just don't do it because it's just too damn obvious. Steam's rule is keeping these guys in line right now. And in 2024, Valve went after another thing that players have been burned by for years now. Promised content, DLC, expansion, season passes, all of the stuff that publishers absolutely love to sell to us before it actually exists. Well, Steam now requires those developers to describe that content, provide a release window, and stick to it. And if they can't deliver, well, then they have to communicate with Valve or issue refunds. And if they don't, well, then Steam's going to step in and they're going to handle it themselves. This said, a massive precedent. Publishers got way too comfortable taking our money up front, dangling future content in front of players, and then quietly dropping support for that game once it underperformed, or the roadmap just became a little bit too inconvenient for everything else that they were doing.
There is one thing that Steam... This is a great update when it comes to getting optimization, like clearance and stuff like that. But if there was some way to have voting and Steam's DB to be the primary, Steam's score on the game, like I think like having it be in like positive, negative, or mixed, if only just a little bit more, that Steam's score is actually more important than Metacritic, bro, we're on the road to paradise. As soon as that happens, because all these fucking game journalists are falling right now. They're getting replaced. They're getting laid off. All we need is more of a push from Steam to be at the forefront. And we might have something when it comes to like having the gamers score the game and not fucking activist journalists.
Steam basically said, no, if you're going to sell a promise on this platform, that is...
And then they'll be like, well, shit, it's not about how many people play the game. It's about the score. Yeah, we gave you a 3 out of 10. Yeah.
A promise that has to mean something. That
can't
is a
talk about that
you
now,
have to
huh?
keep. But apparently, that's not the only promise that Steam wants publishers to keep. One of the biggest issues that players face today, if not the biggest issue that we face today, is performance. It doesn't matter what publisher, what game, what price, or what hardware you're using.
Mind's Eye. Mind's Eye. There was that one game where Left Behind, that one survival game that was supposed to come out. I mean, what else? What else? Monster Hunter Wilds. Oh man, do I got one more? Cyberpunk.
You're eventually going to be running into this. And at this point, I think players are just kind of trained to expect the lie. A publisher is going to tell us that this game is optimized for a 3060 and above, and then we're going to immediately find out that it can barely even hold together on a 4080. And this is not just a PC problem. I realize I have some console viewers that are out there. These guys still tell you, oh, this game's going to run at 60, and it definitely does.
Ubisoft is going to hate this.
Have just become so common across the entire industry that even with high-profile releases...
This is what I got. This is what I got. Thanks, Capcom.
Players are just bracing themselves for the excuses before the games even launch. When Starfield launched with massive performance complaints, Todd Howard told...
I totally fucking forgot Starfield. Thank you, Legendary Drops.
Players that they need to upgrade their PC. When Borderlands 4 launched with some of the worst performance issues that we had seen in years, Randy Pitchford told players that they were trying to use hardware that was just too old for the game. He said that PC players must face the reality of the relationship between their hardware and the software that they run. Like, half these guys didn't build their own machines.
What the fuck, Randy Pitch? Bro, do you guys even know how to make... Bro, I'm starting to believe that a lot of these developers don't know how to make video games anymore.
And he compared it to driving a monster truck with a leaf blower's motor. Basically, it's not the game, it's us. Something that just completely denies all reality. To our
I'll give it to them. At least they didn't blame the gamers.
Frustration. And as much as we are sick of it, well, it seems like Valve might be preparing to end that argument entirely. Back on April 4th of 2026, TechSpot reported on a new feature Valve is working on.
You didn't have any bugs on Starfield? I had a lot of bugs on Starfield. There was one time that I tried to land on one of the planets, and the planet wasn't there. I was like, all right, land. And then I got out of the ship and the map kept on glitching and I was like, I'm leaving. This scares me. I'm leaving. I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm leaving.
Feature that could estimate game performance in FPS based on real user data. The article read, Valve appears to be preparing a new feature that could make one of PC gaming's biggest uncertainties, performance, more transparent. Newly uncovered code in the Steam client suggests that players may soon see estimated frame rate data for each game derived from real-world gameplay metrics shared by other users.
There was also another thing with Starfield where every time when you zoomed up on a character, like for some odd reason, the CPU usage and the GPU usage skyrocketed. I was like, whoa, what the fuck? Bro, why? What are you doing to my PC? I was like, bro, like everything else was fine, but zooming up to somebody and their high details on their face, if we can even call it that, it was like the CPU usage was all on that.
The feature would represent a significant step towards bridging the gap between official system requirements and actual in-game performance. Even as studios release recommended hardware specs, the experience on diverse PC setups often differs sharply from expectations. Now, the timing really matters here because this is coming after Steam has already started to move in this direction. Back in February of 2026, Valve began allowing users to include their hardware specifications in their Steam review.
They did do this. Yes, they 100% did.
So this doesn't feel like some random feature that people are stumbling onto. It actually feels like a step forward towards a much larger system where Steam can take hardware and performance data compared across real use.
Have you run into so many moments where you're just like, why isn't this game running? Why isn't this game running? I have a pretty good rig and I have it on low to medium settings. What's going on? I could probably take high settings with this game. And then you hear somebody else talk about the game and they're like, I have a high-end rig with a 5080 and this game runs horribly. And you're like, what the fuck is happening? It's like, yo, so it's not, so I can run this game. It's just this game is fucking run by ass.
Users and then show players a much more honest picture of how these games actually run. And if
somebody said one time the British companion in Starfield chick was dead and they're not supposed to die, then after like 20 minutes she popped up like crazy.
That happens, oh boy. Well, recommended specs are,
I don't think they got a health bar. Kind of like the whole thing with Lydia. She'll just get back up after combat.
going to be a hell of a lot less useful for marketing fluff, I'll tell you that right now, because who cares what any of these publishers have to say if I can go on Steam and I can see exactly how that is running for people with similar hardware to mine. This is such a massive shift. We actually have a platform that's out here collecting user data and using it for something that is actually useful or benefits the customer. Now, mind you, this is all optional. You don't have to opt into any of this if you don't want to, but they're not using your information to shove more ads in your face.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about, because I was like, hey, you can use your information to figure out whether or not you can run this game. Are you going to use my information to do something nefarious? No, we don't take your information. You're actually using the information of your own PC to see if you can run it. And I'm like, oh, okay, thank God. You're not giving the information to the developers? No. Oh, thank God.
They're not trying to sell your information to some third-party company so you get an inbox filled with junk mail or a bunch of scam calls from some guy pretending to be your bank. No, this is them using your data to be able to protect your purchases, hold publishers accountable, and make buying a game feel like a hell of a lot less of a gamble. Honestly, I'm kind of shocked that nothing like this has ever existed already. I mean, I guess I'm not all that shocked because these guys really do like to scam us, but man, this is just so obviously useful. Instead of getting gaslit by these vague specs and cherry-picked footage that were constantly shown, players can now see at first glance how this game is performing for everybody else. You can see whether or not this game is going to be up to par.
Elder Scrolls 6 is gonna be special. Because they're going to be like, all right, Elder Scrolls 6 is almost on its way. It says here, I can't run this game. It also says here that I also can't run this game. Yeah, does it say it for you? Yeah, it says on here that I can't run your game. It's like, anybody else? Yeah, it says here that I can't run your fucking shitty-ass optimized game. So, okay, that's like 5 or 6 people right there. Okay, so what are you doing, Todd Howard? Before we put money into this, we just noticed we can't run your game. So what's up?
For the hardware that you have before you even spend the money. And out for developers, I've talked to a few of them. These guys are cheering this on, especially indie developers, because
that shit should be against the law. Yes. But there's too many moments within the game industry where they want to put their own fucking EULA, their own TOS, their own fucking rules, when I have to tell you right here, right now, those rules mean nothing. They're nothing. Their TOS, their EULA means nothing. The only thing that would kind of matter is to make sure that you don't steal the game and to not dox anybody or steal like the source code or something, because or not source code, but to like steal like data from somebody else or something like that. That would be bad. But when it comes to like just the game, like we're just talking about gameplay and stuff, how many developers have fucked over the modders? Bethesda's one of them. How many of these have these developers fucked over the gamer with a patch and saying, hey, we just fucked everything up, or hey, it's like that one thing that you enjoyed in the game, we took it away. You remember Destiny 2? Like fucking bro. It's like, hey, that thing that you enjoyed for Destiny, it's gone now.
this doesn't just help the customers, it can save these smaller teams a ridiculous amount of money. Not every single studio can afford to have a...
You remember when we said this was a live service? No more service.
Third-party QA going across a mountain of different hardware configurations. Not every team can fill an office with a bunch of test machines just to get a partial idea of how that game is going to perform. But if Steam can surface real-world performance data from actual players, well, that gives these developers a hell of a lot clearer of a picture too. And for Valve, man, this is just smart.
True.
That's all I have to say. They don't...
This does actually help the developers, because now they can get better information before their game comes out in 1.0, and they can get at actually a better estimate of whether or not, you know, how this game is going to perform at the long run. It's some useful information to know, like, hey, your game doesn't run well, I hope it runs well before 1.0, and they got that cert, and they'll see your information where it's not take your information, but they'll see your information saying, hey, okay, he's got a 4060 Ti. I mean, he could run this game easily, but he would barely reach 30 frames. Okay, so we need to fix that. That's the kind of information we're talking about. Ubisoft, Bethesda, fucking CD Projekt Red, because now they're doing the Unreal Engine, like they actually know how to run that shit. I mean, each game that they keep on bringing out gets buggy as fuck. You remember Witcher 3 on day one? You remember Cyberpunk on day one? Yeah, that's what I thought. Even Dawnwalker has some optimization issues with their fucking development videos. All of them have bad fucking optimization in their trailers or whatever sort of video. So they better wise up.
Publish their return numbers, but I would have to imagine that a massive amount of Steam refunds likely come from games just not performing the way that players probably expected. That game didn't run right, the specs were misleading, the player then spends an hour trying to fix it, and they finally just refund it. So a tool like this is going to help everyone. Players, because we're going to be able to make better buying decisions, developers, because they're going to get performance feedback, and Steam, because they're going to reduce a pretty sizable chunk of their own refund queue by preventing all these bad purchases before they even happen.
That one developer that was trying to make another fucking hero shooter live service, that's like, bro, this is going to be a great live service game that's different than any other fucking live service game. And then you realize that the optimization is absolutely horrendous. And then they come out and they're like, fuck, actually, we don't know how to make video games. We learned all this shit on through AI. And yeah, you got us, guys. You got us. Scammers are going to hate this shit.
Man, I really hope that people understand just how massive of a change this is going to be. It is going to be a huge disruption to the games industry. It is going to instantaneously impact the way that these companies approach recommended hardware, how they approach performance and optimization. When you have something that is this transparent, that is likely going to be just plastered right on the store page, You don't have an option.
Yep.
You have to optimize that game. Otherwise, you're going to launch it with a scarlet letter before players even press buy. If I'm Xbox or PlayStation and I was thinking about going exclusive, I'm definitely thinking about doing it now. That's for sure. No more guesswork. You're going to know exactly what you're buying. And also, as a byproduct, we're going to know immediately who the real problem is. And with the long history that a lot of these companies have of pushing out games well before they were
Bro, for all those people that are playing on PlayStation with the fucking GTA 6, you guys are gonna be the fucking beta testers. You're gonna be the fucking beta testers for GTA 6. And we'll just sit back and wait. You're playing GTA 6? That's cool. It runs like ass. I'll see you later.
actually finished, it's going to be these publishers. You know, for years now, these guys have been trying to push.
By the way, I want to mention this about GTA, about it being exclusive to PlayStation. What a stupid thing for them to do. What a dumb thing for them to do in Rockstar. I'm sorry. There's a lot of people on PlayStation, but there's not enough people that have the PlayStation Pro. Not everybody has a PlayStation Pro. And I guarantee you, it's going to run like ass on the regular PlayStation. You're going to need a PlayStation Pro. And that's going to divide fans right there. And so the fucking Rockstar developers are going to notice, man, there's a lot of people on PlayStation that play GTA 6, but not enough. How many people play on Steam? Oh, millions upon millions of people? Okay, well, maybe we might bring out GTA 6 early. Nah. Is it optimized? Is it optimized first?
Prices higher and higher, always trying to standardize a level
PS5
of pricing that they want to be able to make.
CPU is
Always
ass. It
expecting
is
more from us without ever wanting any expectations on themselves. And in that time, these guys have never standardized the level of quality.
Nope.
Not a single time.
Nope.
No more. No. Now, these games have to come out complete or they have to come out truthful.
Yep.
Which is it going to be? Can't imagine they're going to like either one. I can't tell you guys how ecstatic I am over this. This is one of the greatest changes that I have ever seen in the games industry in many
Asian developers are going to be hype as hell because people already play Asian video games and also consume Asian like media because it's way better than the Western stuff. And guess what? Asians don't play around with fucking optimization. Well, unless you're Capcom when it comes to Monster Hunter Wilds. Yeah, they learned that lesson real quick.
years, and it's
Not quick enough.
something that nobody can fight. It's just good for the players, it's good for the games, it's good for developers, it's good for the industry, it's healthy overall. The only people it's not healthy for are the people that are trying to scam people.
Yep.
That's it. Valve isn't standardizing the games industry by trying to ask these companies and these publishers to be better. No, instead, they're just making excuses impossible to sell.
Also, this is going to help out fucking Steam to be like, you know, like this is going to be less phone calls and less support that's needed through Steam when it comes to games that are not optimized. Because people do actually contact Steam in regards to a game that is not optimized. And so they'll be like, is it the Steam's launcher? Is it this? Is it that from Steam? Hey, I need to create another form because the optimization's not great. And also, I need to grade this and that. And also, they don't have to deal with refunds anymore. This actually helps them. They could deal with less refunds because they got the information ahead of time. Now, if the game's ass, the game is ass, regardless of, you know, the optimization. If the game sucks, the game sucks. But it's less work for them.
I love it. It's beautiful business.
That
And
Ananta
while
game looks
I really
wild, it
appreciate
does.
what Valve is doing and what they're trying to push towards right now. The real question is, what are they up to? If there's one thing that I pride myself on is that I don't take anything at face.
This is why they're coming up with the Steam machine. They are taking away PlayStation and they are going to take away Xbox and fucking Nintendo. Once this fucking Steam machine comes out and it's affordable, PlayStation is fucking done. Okay? No bald chick is going to help you out. No wife of war is going to help you out. It's just going to be you and Horizon Hunters Gathering.
Value. So when I see Valve making moves like this, I don't look at it as some random quality of life feature. I look at the pattern around it, because Valve just keeps doing this. They keep finding these places where the industry is benefiting from confusion, vague promises, or flat out excuses, and they're building systems around those things to protect us and make those excuses a lot harder to sell. It feels like Valve is trying to rebuild trust in the games industry, at least on their platform. We almost never see the games industry trying to standardize around anything in a positive direction. Instead, it's always been about pricing or mass producing games, subscription services, always normalizing things against us rather than for us, because, well, they make a hell of a lot more money doing the opposite. And we...
How do you think these consoles, Sony and Microsoft, how do you think they feel about, or even these developers, how do you think they feel knowing how they can see how many people are playing Marathon or playing Starfield or playing Assassin's Creed Shadows? They hate that shit. Good.
I've definitely never seen these guys try to standardize around a level of quality, well, except for once. We used to have the Nintendo seal of quality. It existed because consumer trust had completely collapsed after the video game crash in 1983. That seal had read, "This seal has your assurance that Nintendo has evaluated and approved."
Nigga, they got rid of that shit a long time ago, bro. They said, bro, you know who we are, and now their games run like ass now. They got rid of that shit real quick.
Prove the quality of this product. The point was pretty simple. If the game had that seal, it was supposed to function properly on Nintendo hardware. It told customers this game works. But over time, we lost that. It changed. It went from the seal of quality to eventually becoming the official Nintendo seal, because promising quality became a liability to them.
Yep, exactly.
Which honestly feels like a pretty good summary of where the industry went.
Nice going, Power World. Power World is like a perfect example of like, all right, we're gonna make this, and then Pokemon developers was like, oh shit, we gotta work. Oh fuck. Put a fake patent that's too widespread. Put like 2 of them, and we're gonna make some random Pokemon game with barely any money put into it. There we go. All right, another Pokemon game, whatever.
I mean, today, launching broken, unfinished, unsupported slop is basically normalized at this point. Players don't even expect most of these games to even work. Hell, we celebrate when they actually do, and that's just insane. There is almost no other industry in the world where this would be treated as normal. Imagine buying a movie and just accepting that it might not play, or a book where halfway through you find out that half the pages are missing, and the publisher is just like, don't worry, we'll patch them in later, but still charge you full price.
Exactly.
What are we doing here? That would be absurd anywhere else. And at some point, that has to stop. This industry
they really hate the free market.
Clearly isn't going to do it for itself, because that broken standard that they've been pushing is benefiting them the most. They're making more money, they're saving more money, and they're never going to be motivated to do it. But it seems like Valve is stepping in to be the one to change things.
I hate that little fucker. I play this game. Where is he? There he is. The guy with the fucking sleepy hat. I think his name is the Sandman.
Benefiting them the most. They're making more money.
There he is,
they're saving
right there.
More money, and
fuck
they're
that
never
guy.
going to be motivated to do it. But it seems like Valve is
Yeah, that bitch right there. Fuck him, bro.
stepping in to be the one to change things. Now, I have to give a shout out to Water CS2 for inspiring this theory, a fantastic everything Valve related content creator, because he's been talking about how Steam is slowly but surely becoming a more console-like experience, gearing towards the release of the Steam machine, making Steam easier to navigate, more all-inclusive, and a little bit more predictable. And I think this guy's right. I think that that's exactly what they're trying to do right now. But I also think that that's only one small piece of what Valve is.
We already got a Steam Deck. Now you get the Steam machine, bro. They're doing everything that Xbox wanted to do and more.
Building towards, because right now we're at a time where trust is at an all-time low in the games industry.
Exactly.
It's basically on the floor, and I think that Valve is trying to leverage trust as their brand moving forward. The Steam machine and the Steam Deck are not just devices.
Oh, careful, girl. That video game That video game right there.
As their brand moving forward. The Steam machine.
Though, careful. That's an RPG game that will teach you how to become a family. Easy. They don't like that online on Reddit. Reddit's not a real place. But what I want to say is, that after the Steam Deck or the Steam machine comes out, Sony's gonna have real problems. Okay. And a lot of Sony Pony fans are going to second guess themselves. I know they probably have a Steam channel already, or a Steam fucking thing already, but they're gonna question themselves.
And the Steam Deck are not just devices; these are
Pretty sure they
hardware
got a
pieces
PC.
in a much larger strategy that Valve is trying to use to create some type of standard around the Steam platform. I think that these guys are trying to certify the quality of games, and I think that we've already seen the early version of this.
This is why I'm worried about Gabe Newell's health. I've been worried about Gabe Newell's health for a while now. And him doing this is great, but I'm still worried about Gabe Newell's help, because goddamn, how many times do we have to keep on saying Gabe does nothing and then wins? And I'm just like, bro, I don't know. I'm over here like, yo, if he passes away, I don't want him to pass away, period, because that's a loss of life. But also the man speaks to us,
With the Steam Deck verified. Technically, you can download just about any game on Steam and go ahead and play it on the Steam Deck, but that doesn't necessarily mean that all those games are going to play or even work well. Some games just don't support the controls. Others have text that's too small.
Yep.
Some of them have some weird settings that need to be changed. Some will technically launch but run so poorly that no normal person would ever say that it's playable. So Valve went and they made a simple badge system. They call it the Steam Deck verification. Verified games means that game works well out of the box. You buy it, install it, and play it. No tinkering, no guessing. You know exactly what you're getting. Playable games, that's another badge. That just means that it requires a little bit more.
There's one game that I want to know is verifiable, and I know it's on early access. Manor Lords. I'm pretty sure they're not ready for it. Manor Lords. I play the game on the side because I think the game is fucking beautiful. It's playable. It's playable on the Steam Deck. Yeah, this game right here, Manor Lords, where you just, build a community and stuff like that. I love this game. I played a lot of it without you guys. I'm sorry. I love that game.
More effort. Maybe you have to change some settings, or you have to maybe make your own custom controls, but it's not what they would necessarily consider a stable experience. Unsupported means Valve does not recommend that game, or it just flat out does not work on the device. And then unknown means that it's still in the reviewing process. The important part is Valve is not just letting these developers slap a badge on the game and put it on the store page. No, Valve is reviewing these games themselves. They're giving these developers detailed feedback on what actually needs to be fixed, and then those developers can go and resubmit for approval. So
that's some fucking badass work right there.
Valve is now taking something that used to be
Team Fortress. Some functionality is not accessible using the default controller configuration, requiring use of the touchscreen or a vial keyboard. This product has missing or inaccurate control glyphs. Okay, that's what you mean by playable.
Be messy and uncertain for the customer, and they're turning it into a standard that players can understand instantly, visibly.
You wanted to play that shit? It's a good game.
This is so incredibly simple. You go to the store page, and right there on the game's cover, there is a badge telling you if that game works on the Steam Deck or not. Something that is just entirely unheard of and under-discussed in the games industry.
The fact that Death Stranding is verified on there is wild. Also, better Death Stranding. I like Ella Fanning's feet, but not that much.
You do not have to actually dig through any forums. You don't got to search Reddit threads. You don't have to watch videos. You don't have to wonder whether or not you're going to spend money on something that is going to technically launch, but they need like 15 settings changes and a blood sacrifice to be able to work properly. You know what you're getting into before you even hit buy. Now, to the best of my knowledge, that kind of visible platform level compatibility system has never existed anywhere else in the industry. Not with this much reach, and definitely not directly attached to the same place that you're making the purchase.
He's dead. Nice.
That matters here because, well, that badge is absolutely going to decide whether or not somebody's going to buy a game or skip it. And while most of this right now has just been limited to the Steam Deck, Valve is now building the exact same version of that same idea for the Steam machine. They've already told developers that there is going to be a Steam machine verified. But if
is Elder Scrolls 6 playable, verified, or is it unknown for your PC? Who knows? It's not X mark for like, oh man, you don't want to buy this game.
If their game is Steam Deck verified, well, then it's going to be pre-approved for the Steam Deck verification, because the Steam machine is more powerful hardware. But the implications of that go even further, because if a game is already verified on the Steam machine and my PC is more powerful than the Steam machine, then I can look at that badge and I can have a pretty good idea if I'm going to have any issues running that game. That gives the Steam machine value beyond the people who even go out and buy one. It now becomes a reference point for everybody else. I think this is where this all comes together, because Valve is already standardizing a base level of quality on their own.
I also have to add the fact that they didn't do what Xbox did. Xbox did all this stuff where they were like, bro, you can go on the internet, you could watch TV, you could watch movies, you could watch TV on the Xbox, you could watch Hulu, you could watch Netflix, you could watch TV. Steam is just like video games. Yeah, video games.
Hardware and on their own platform. There is a badge right there. There's a green check mark telling me if this is going to work.
I'm looking at that
what
game.
Piece of hardware of theirs that I'm using. Go ahead and add in the FPS estimates that are based on real user data, and now suddenly Steam is starting to remove doubt from the customer's mind before anybody ever even makes a purchase. This is great for players, but this is also just utterly brilliant business. As a former salesman myself, I have to respect this, because doubt is one of the biggest things that stops people from buying anything. Qualifying is the first step and the biggest step of the sales cycle, and it is a huge point of friction for a lot of people on PC. Will it run? Will it stutter? Will the recommended hardware settings lie to me? Am I going to spend the first hour of this game fixing the settings instead of actually playing it? Is it going to get worse the more that I play it? Valve is trying to answer those questions before you even ask them. This is going to build trust. It's going to protect customers. It's probably going to sell a hell of a lot more games, because people are going to feel safer buying them. And I think that's the part of Valve's strategy that a lot of these companies probably aren't going to understand. Doing right by the customer.
And they need this for the Steam Deck too, because the Steam Deck will have its own, its own thing as well, its own problems and its own what's the word I'm looking for? Its own limits. So when it comes to seeing the game before it comes out, you're going to be like, oh, okay, well, I can't run this on my Steam machine. I can't run this on my Steam Deck. Well, I'm not going to get the game yet.
Customer is not a charity, it's good business, and Valve is now going to force the rest of the industry to do good business just as a byproduct.
It's a shame that we have to do that, but yes.
Developers are going to know exactly what the baseline is. They're going to know that this is Valve's hardware and this is what these guys are measuring around. They're going to know that if their game runs poorly on the Steam Deck, on the Steam machine, or on Steam's FPS estimates, well, that information is going to be visible right where customers are making the decision to buy. So even if Valve never forces a single performance target, the pressure is still there. Optimize for the standard, or just let every customer see that you didn't. I tend to be a guy with a hell of a lot of theories, but I never say that I'm 100% confident in them. This one, I'm 100% confident in. The reason why is because this would be so effective, so unbelievably effective.
I don't see why not.
It's such a brilliant strategy, especially given today's market conditions within the games industry, because trust is at an all-time low. So if you're selling trust, you're going to be making a hell of a lot of money. Now, say whatever you will about Steam. These guys very rarely make the wrong decision when it comes to stuff like this. And if this is the direction that they're going,
I think one thing that they really do need to work on are the support teams and the people that are trying to bring the games in. You should have never did a deal with the devil with Collective Shout. That's one thing. I think that the people that make those games, even though some of them I don't agree with, those hentai games, they should exist in that platform. And the fact that it's like oh yeah, I'll just get rid of all these games, and but it's just wrong. Also, they deleted a lot of games that weren't even hentai. They just took it out for what God knows why.
It's going to flip the games industry on its head instantly. A badge on every single game saying whether or not it actually works on a piece of hardware outside of just a handheld.
Bro, make the badge look exactly like the Nintendo badge of seal of approval. That golden tint on it. And instead of the Nintendo logo, it's the Steam logo. And it's saying certified banger, certified working condition. And then Nintendo's going to be like, should I sue them? I don't think I have a patent on stickers. You're lucky today.
Being on something that is also effectively not only a console, but also a PC. That's a big change, guys.
Need to put Gabe in bubble wrap. Don't let anything happen to him. Yeah, so
that's a
so
real
true.
Big change. Now, I want you guys to keep in mind, to add more confidence to this. Ever since they announced the Steam Machine, they have always been trying to temper people's expectations. It's never been about this being the most powerful piece of gaming hardware. It's not about it being next gen.
I never thought it was going to be like this next gen. I didn't think it was going to like replace PCs, but it's something that definitely should be affordable. Like, you should be able to play Hollow Knight on that game. You should be able to play the game that we were just watching, Death Watch, or is it Dead Watch or Deadlock? You should be able to play Baldur's Gate. You should be able to play what else? I think most retro games, obviously. But yeah, we'll see. I think it's gonna be in mesh with the Steam Deck.
Or breakthrough or anything like that. It's about it being well made, well maintained, and reliable.
Yes.
And now you're going to add on top of that you're going to have access to a storefront that has full.
Do not look at the Steam machine and be like, I thought I got a 5090 in this thing. Please don't. Please don't. That thing is small for a reason. Look at that thing like it's a GameCube.
Transparency that tells you whether or not games do or do not work for that piece of hardware. That's a pretty good position to be able to put yourself in. You're creating a lot of market separation from you and the rest of your competition because you say whether or not your games work or not. You have a badge proving it. Nobody else does. You can't find that anywhere else.
Yeah.
That's how you drive people to buy something. That's something I can't find.
And I cannot stress this enough. They haven't added shit to fucking the Sony store or the Xbox app or store. They haven't added a goddamn thing. If anything, they keep on adding more bullshit, more ads, and more of nothing. How does it feel to open up your PlayStation and you get an ad saying, hey, are you gonna watch that new Mario movie? That's the kind of shit I'm talking about. You got Hulu? Do you got Netflix? Hey, do you got a student card or a student? Are you a student? Well, you can get a fucking deal for Hulu if you got a student a student card. And I'm like, what is this? What is this? It's like, I came here to play video games. It's like, you're not giving me anything useful. You keep on getting patches after patches after patches of stuff. If anything, Steam is the only platform when it comes to video gaming where, yeah, you have a patch for Steam, but you can just patch it whenever you get off Steam. That's the shit I'm talking about. It's like, yo, you're playing your video game and you can play your video game, and then when you come back after a couple of days and you want to get back on Steam, hey, guess what? You got an update. Not like Sony where it's just like, you can't do a goddamn thing. You can't do anything until you get this update on. Stop what you're doing. You can't do anything. Stop. Update your fucking fucking PlayStation. And I'm like, all right, fine. How long is the update? Well, how good is your internet? And I'm like, oh, fucking hey. All right. I mean, I guess that's to be expected, I guess. But damn.
Find anywhere else? I want that thing. Now, the funny thing is, you don't even have to want the Steam machine. You don't even have to like the Steam machine. You would want the Steam machine to be a thing. You want it to exist because, well, just by it existing, it's creating a baseline level of quality for players on PC. You can instantly look and go, hey, you know what? This game doesn't work on the Steam machine. It's probably not going to work on my PC. I'll pass on it. If I'm using a 4080, 4090, or a 50 series card, but it's not working on a Steam machine, it's definitely not going to be working for me.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
That's how that ends up working. So it's such a really interesting development to see. It's not something that I expected. I'll tell you that for sure. But these publishers are going to have a real big problem on their hands.
Bro.
They're not going to like this. This is a level of transparency that these guys are not going to be comfortable with because they have been selling.
Bro. Hey, I need you to bring out this game at this time. Sir, I wish we could bring out that game at that time, but we're not going to be able to optimize the game in full perpetuity for 1.0 release. Well, just update it and patch it after it comes out. It's like, no, we can't do that anymore. We can't do that. We can't patch the game and make it look better after the game is coming out. People have information now. You can't. Well, you could just make it look better after the game, like 3 months after the game. And I'm like, nope, can't do that. The game's got to look good on day one.
Broken games for years. They have been profiting off of broken games for years. And these guys cannot afford to not have their games on Steam. So they're just not going to be able to avoid any of this. And essentially, they're going to have to be completely transparent with whether or not their game works or whether it doesn't. Whether
it's going to be like Bungie, where they say, hey, can you hold off reviews for a month, please? Thank you. Kisses. Smoochies. Yeah, that's not going to work here. Once the game releases and it's not good or it's not optimized, well,
it was actually optimized or it wasn't. The age of quality is on the horizon, my friends. It's great. I'm so excited for this. I can't wait to see this come out. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did enjoy the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you guys comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about all of this. Do you guys think that I'm looking in the right direction? Are you excited for these new changes coming to Steam? Especially the Steam machine verified is just going to be utterly brutal for so many of these companies. It's going to be so poetic more than anything else. Anyway, follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter, follow me.
This is a good video. Yeah, definitely. I'm excited for this. So, I could stop hearing from like people saying, oh, you can't run this. I was able to run most of my games with my fucking PC. So when they come out to me with this bullshit of a game that it's like, yo, it's not graphic heavy, but it's CPU heavy. Like it's like my PC is not bottlenecked. It's the fucking game that's bottlenecks. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, absolutely. But anyway, I'm gonna end the video there. Thanks for seeing it. Man, I'm excited for this game. I mean, I'm excited for Lords of the Fallen anyway. But definitely looking forward to a lot of this stuff that's coming out. Lords of the Fallen 2 is gonna look good. Wait, is it gonna be on Epic Games or is it gonna be on fucking Steam? I do not know. I think it's gonna be on Epic Games again. Man, I don't want to fucking load up Epic Games, man. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I hope not. They did that before, and I was like, you want me to go on Epic Games, bitch? Are you serious? This is what happens when you're in a contract, man. Anyway, I'm going to end it there. Thanks so much for joining me, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Yeah, may the 4th be with you, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Peace. Have a good night.